The Church of Living Word Assembly stood at the center of 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐿agos, its tall white walls gleaming under the sun like a promise of purity. Every Sunday, the building overflowed with worshippers. Pastor Elijah Adebayo was their shepherd, a man of booming sermons, powerful prayers, and a voice that could make sinners weep. He was adored, respected, and feared in equal measure. Beside him always stood his wife, Mama Esther. For 30 years she had been his partner, his quiet strength. The congregation loved her gentle smile, her devotion, her simplicity. But one Sunday morning, Pastor Elijah dropped a bombshell during service. "Brethren, God has spoken to me," he thundered from the pulpit, "and he has instructed me to take a second wife." The congregation gasped. Esther's eyes widened as though lightning had struck her heart. Her name was Grace, young, beautiful, with skin the color of new palm wine and eyes that shone with defiance. She was 27, barely half the pastor's age. She had been a chorister, known for her angelic voice. Grace moved into the parsonage against Esther's protests. The house that once smelled of Esther's palm oil stew and camphor now reeked of expensive perfumes and tension. The pastor justified it with scripture, twisting verses to defend his desire. Some members left the church, murmuring of hypocrisy, but others stayed, terrified of questioning God's anointed. Grace quickly rose to prominence. She took the front seat beside the pastor, wore dazzling lace on Sundays, and began controlling church affairs. Esther, once called Mama General Overseer, was quietly pushed aside. Soon, whispers began. Offerings went missing. Night vigils were interrupted by strange cries in the darkness. One member swore she saw Grace entering the church at midnight, her white wrapper trailing on the ground, her eyes glowing faintly. Children complained of nightmares, dreams of a woman with golden eyes standing over them. Esther herself started feeling weak, her body failing in ways she could not explain. She confided in her friend, Mama Funka. "This woman, Grace, she's not ordinary," Esther whispered, her voice trembling. Mama Funka shook her head. "My sister, shine your eyes. Some second wives are not from God. Watch her closely." As months passed, Pastor Elijah began to change. His once fiery sermons turned hollow. He grew pale, his energy drained, as though something was feeding on him. Yet he defended Grace with desperation, lashing out at anyone who questioned her. One evening, Esther overheard an argument between them. "Grace, what is happening to me? I feel empty." Grace laughed softly. "Don't worry, Daddy G.O. The price of greatness is sacrifice." One stormy night, Esther was awakened by chanting. She crept out of her room and followed the sound to the church auditorium. There, in the flickering candlelight, she saw Grace standing before the altar. A black calabash sat before her, filled with dark liquid. She was chanting incantations in a language Esther had never heard. Pastor Elijah lay unconscious at her feet, his chest rising and falling weakly. Grace dipped her fingers into the calabash and smeared the liquid on his forehead. Esther's scream tore through the hall. Grace turned, her eyes glowing golden. "You should not have seen this, Mama Esther. He is mine now." The next day, Esther sought out Prophet Bamidele, a small, fiery man known for exposing hidden darkness. Together, they began fasting and praying. The church was split, some loyal to Grace's charm, others clinging to Esther's quiet faith. Grace struck back. Esther fell ill, bedridden with strange sores. People whispered she had been cursed. But Esther clung to her prayers, her Bible beside her bed. One night the battle came to a head. At a vigil, as drums beat and voices cried out, Grace attempted to lead a prayer. Suddenly, her voice twisted, turning into a guttural growl. Her eyes rolled back and she collapsed, convulsing violently. The congregation panicked. Prophet Bamidele stood and roared, "The spirit of witchcraft has been exposed. This is not a wife, this is an agent of darkness." Grace screamed, her voice no longer human. "He was promised to me. His soul, his power, his church, all mine." After hours of prayer, she fell silent, her body lifeless. Pastor Elijah never fully recovered. His health remained fragile, and he stepped down from the pulpit months later. Many members left, the church scarred by scandal. Esther, though weary, remained. She took no pride in Grace's downfall. She simply returned to her quiet service, cooking for the poor, comforting widows, teaching children. And whenever someone asked about the pastor's second wife, she would only sigh and say, "Some battles are not of flesh and blood. Some wives come from God, others come from the pit itself." So, bestie, what did you learn from this story? Kindly share with me your lessons in the comment sections. Give the story a thumbs up and share the story with your loved ones. Also, subscribe to this 𝐓𝐇𝐄 TV channel if you've not done. So by now, until I bring another story away.